Good morning, Dan. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thanks for your patience. Glad to have you in the house.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
There was a program on TV that talked about tires being sold off the shelf with an expiration date.
That's
and
correct.
It says very common, for 6 years. I guess I was wanting your opinion on that and what we should demand as, a customer, and if that's actually something. It was an independent study, and I guess I just want your opinion on that.
It's not necessarily an independent study. The tire manufacturers have agreed that 10 years is the limit. And also, the tire manufacturers give a 6-year guarantee on the tire. And normally, by the time the tire gets to the market, depending on where you buy the tires, they're about a year old. And there could be some differences. It's always best to look on the front of the tire. And now you can see the born on date on the front of the tire, Dan. But for your information, that date has been on the back wall for years. And for those of you who are tuned in, and Dan, for your information, on any tire that you have right now, you can look on the back wall, and there's a group of alphanumeric numbers. And the last 4 numbers are the born on date. For instance, let's say that 3699. So if 3699 were there, then that tire was made the 36th week of 1999. If it had a 5202, that tire was manufactured the 52nd week of 2002. I did buy, just as a matter of record, I bought a set of tires, got a deal on them for my Viper. I had about, 15,000 miles on it, and it needed a set of tires. And so I bought some through the internet. And the front tires were made, this is a couple of years ago, the front tires were about a year and a half old. But the rear tires for the car are 13 inches wide. They're very expensive. And the car's an '01 model, so it's 7 years old. I put tires on it about 3 years ago, best of my recollection. And the tires that I bought in '04 were made the 32nd or 35th week of 2001. So maybe that was why I got such a good deal. So you want to make sure that when you buy a tire from a local, and it's always best to deal with a local, you want to make sure that you buy a tire and you look at the born-on date and just ask the person that you're doing business with, how fresh is this inventory? Because that was the point that the clip that you saw, or the story that they ran on television. That was the point, that there were some tires that were older, and tires and the polymers in rubber, just like our skin, the elastomer that holds the tire together can go away. I'll tell you this, for your information, what we're doing now, the tire industry, is we're registering new tires so that if there is a problem, let me give you a website. You got a pen?
No, I don't. I'm outside.
Okay, then you can remember this, MichelinMan.com. Sure. So if you go to MichelinMan.com, you'll see, as you scroll down that page, you'll see that where you are invited to list your tires, to not subscribe, but to list your tires and the serial number of the tire. When you buy a new tire, the reason that Michelin has done this and the industry is doing it is so that if there is a problem with a tire, then they can track the tire, how old it is, where it was sold, when it was sold, so that if there happens to be multiple bad tires or the chance of multiple bad tires, then there's some kind of a tracking record so they can pull those tires off the highway. So you're going to see that a little bit later on, I think probably become a law. And you're also going to see tires that use the RFID, and that's a radio frequency identification number, so that if you are selling tires and you've got 10,000 tires in the storeroom in the back, you'll know what size tires are located, how many you've got of this size, how many of this size. So it's really interesting, the technology. But that's a very good question. I'm glad that you called.